Hello and welcome to Nerdrunners. I'm Stef, and joining me tonight is a man who is 20% Fast Advance, 40% Glacier, 30% Shaper Bullshit, and 15% Cheesecake. He's over his max influence, it's Mark!
Hi everyone! I wasn't expecting cheesecake at the end.
No one ever expects a cheesecake.
No, but
You're 5% over your cheesecake influence.
You know what they say, a cheesecake a day, diabetes.
Oh man. Well, with that, with the extra laugh in the background, I should probably introduce our guest. Joining us tonight is a man whose dulcet tones invade my sleep and brings me dreams of players from mainland Europe kicking the shit out of me at Netrunner. It's Krystian from TeamworkCast.
Hi everybody, how are you doing?
I'm alright, thank you.
Good, thanks.
How's everything going with you?
Well, I don't have enough cheesecake because now you mentioned it and I'm hungry.
Yeah, I realised that we've done this at the wrong time.
Yeah.
If we said it for even lunchtime would be bad. No, we just want lunchtime cheesecake.
I have to admit, cheesecake is also my favorite. You kind of hit a spot right there.
You're in
you
good
and Mark
company.
will get on famously.
Yes. What I've got? This is almost going to those terrible. If you could be any biscuit type of interview questions.
I'm going to put my mic on mute. Okay.
I was just going to ask, what is your favourite type of cheesecake? I'm actually interested now.
Oh, there's multiple types. I guess plain cheesecake, like with,
Yeah.
like with lemon and yeah.
Ah, awesome. I do like the plain New York style, but I am partial to like a raspberry ripple cheesecake.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think I have to expand my cheesecake experiences in the future.
You're joining us on cheesecake.
What is the recent cheesecake deck that you've been running, guys?
Good lord. Oh, I can't take this.
I want that to be a thing. I want there to be a cheesecake deck.
Please.
You know I'm going to make it now, don't you?
You know, I mean, there's a funny thing. Like, there's like so many things in Netrunner that aren't have nicknames. And recently, I found out that adjusted chronotype is called pancakes.
Oh yes. I've heard that in my meta as well. It's you play it down. Well, maybe it's just me, but whenever someone plays it down, I shout pancakes.
So now we have to petition for an addition of some kind of cheesecake related card. So
maybe.
If we ever win Worlds, we'll just
the cheesecake
put down
card.
the cheesecake art.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh god. We need cats and cheesecakes.
The most delicious card.
That's how we're gonna expand the flavor of Netrunner with cats and cheesecake.
Oh god, it's like the internet. It's terrible.
I already know someone who plays with Grumpy Cat sleeves, so
Yeah.
just imagine if that was on the card itself.
Oh. You know, I was always disappointed that SMC had like the flavor text that it turns into cat videos, but we never see the SMC turning into cat videos. We just see this stupid flower.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. Maybe if you get it to, maybe if you retrieve Black Cat with it, so it's kind of getting closer to the intended experience.
I'm hoping for an alt art print that will reveal the tragedy of this event.
I can feel some letters to FFG coming on now. It's just like
scribbling down notes. Oh gosh, this is genius! Cheesecake cats. Oh.
Cheesecake cat. Right, I'm building a deck called Cheesecake Cats. It's going to run self-modifying code Black Cat and other cards. I'm putting it together now. This is what you've done to me.
So anyway, did we actually have any things that we want to talk about today?
Already gone wildly off topic.
It's the best introduction of all time. Hi, hey Krystian, why don't you tell us what you do?
I do a YouTube channel called TeamworkCast with a couple of guys from America, and we used to record a lot of things about the video game Monster Hunter. But recently, 1 year ago, I just randomly started recording some of my Netrunner games. And that worked very well, so we continued doing this. And so now we have like 140, 150 Netrunner games recorded and released on YouTube.
I was going to say, I think I can probably say that I've seen most of them, I think. I got really addicted to your channel and like just worked my way through them. Just yours and Putty's commentary is just fantastic.
Oh, thank you very much. It's great fun to record those games, and it's also fun because when I look back at old games, I learned so much about the game through the commenting of all those games, because I seen so many people applying different strategies, and I had also lots of people on the show explaining me all sorts of things. So that was also like a learning tool for myself.
Have you ever, obviously I know you're incredibly busy trying to keep up with all the current games you've recorded and commentating on, but do you ever go back and watch some of the older games and just kind of see how how Netrunner was like a year ago and how it's changed?
Every now and then, yeah, because there's like always like all those questions on Reddit or something where people ask, can you explain, how this specific archetype works? So I have like a list or something where there's like games recorded of, this is a typical, prepaid Kate game. That's a very good executed prepaid Kate build that people also commented on. This was a really great prepaid Kate. All right, so I have like a couple of lists of games that I really liked. And every now and then I inadvertently, I copy the link and then, I let it play in a tab, and then I watch half of the game. It's really fun. But I don't know. The funny thing is, like, the game changed, but it didn't change, It's kind of like Metal Gear Solid and Fallout 3. The game has changed, but the game never changes.
Netrunner never changes.
Yeah.
I love that. I've got a lot of time for that.
Yeah. There's occasional cards that come in that completely change the meta, but like recently I've been playing like this Whizzard build that everybody's playing. Looking for job build from Spags and Stephen Woolley, and that has like core set breaker suite and parasites and things that have been around for ages.
It's a wonderful thing to be playing.
Yeah.
I played Mark the other day with my. I was looking at it and I thought, I'll just build a Whizzard deck. I hadn't seen Looking for Job, and I pretty much carbon copied it. I was like, I'm just gonna put in all the old stuff. Like, I haven't played a proper old school Anarch deck in a long time with all the parasites and the Decusses. But then with Chrome City having come out, I've also stuck in things like Net Ready Eyes just to give that boost to a Yogg and a Morning Star.
I know, it was the freakiest thing, like, as the longer the game progressed, I'm like, have you been on Netrunner DB recently, Steph?
No!
Because I'm pretty sure I've seen this deck before. And Steph's like, no, honestly, it's called Old School, New School, I built it myself, it has its own name. I'm just like, yeah, but you have, like, Career Fair and Earthrise Hotel, along with, like, the Corsair Breakers for Anarch in Whizzard. It's just...
I am the Netrunner Whisperer.
Yeah.
That's what I am.
That is amazing.
Whatever's popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. I was just looking through my cards, because I play a little bit with my friends in real life, as well as just on Jinteki, and I used to run Whizzard all the time.
Yes.
He was my go-to runner, because noise is okay, but Whizzard I just like running in and trashing things, and it gets really irritating after a while. I mainly built it to irritate Mark. My original
That's
Whizzard
true,
build.
yeah.
It was running stuff like Xanadu, and
This was,
I just remember being sat across from you, Mark, and you just look at me going, "Fucking Xanadu!"
what deck would I have been playing at the time? I was probably still in Jinteki back then when you were doing
Probably.
that. Yeah. All my traps and all the ambushes and assets and all that glorious stuff that goes into remotes that you just run in and trash, or you just trash from R&D before they ever go out.
Yeah, it's like, no more. In fact, I'm running this. I haven't even got imp in it. I should re-put that. Anyway, I suppose we've run into what we're playing.
Yeah.
Man, I'm completely off my game with the third person tonight. I usually do intros. And it's that talk of cheesecake at the top of the cast. Oh man, but so yeah, I'm currently running Old School, New School, which is my Whizzard deck, which is kind of like Looking for Job. But I've stuck in a knight in there just to get through. Toll booths mainly, and I've thrown in Net Ready Eyes and Skulljack because, hey, if you throw in Skulljack under Whizzard, everything's more fun to trash.
Interesting, Skulljack. Huh.
Yeah, it's when you install it, suffer 1 brain damage, and the trash cost of all cards is lowered by 1. So, you compare that with Whizzard's 3 recurring credits just to trash things.
You can trash an Eve for 1 credit.
Yep.
One actual credit from your pool. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty hardcore.
It's it's just nice. It's nice to be able to just trash a Sansan for 2.
Yeah.
So that's good. It's out of the way now. Oh, even 1. Sorry, my bad. It's 1 credit trash Sansan with the. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's nice, and it's currently I've won 10 of the 10 games I've played. So I'm 10 for naught with this deck, and it's going strong. I have no idea how it's working.
You do this. You build these crazy consistent decks out of these thematic ideas. It's awesome.
But I'm a terrible player.
Your decks are clearly carrying you. That's what it is.
Clearly. And then I built a butcher shop variant because that's popular right now. Just of an NEH butcher shop, and that was fun. And I'm not going to say any more about that. I just enjoy scorching people to death. I think it is. While Mark feels the ultimate remorse, I just laugh.
I know. I've been going back to Blue Sun recently. I've tried out Cybernetics Division for HB. I might talk a bit about that later. But yeah, Blue Sun. I feel really bad. Like, I put a housekeeping out second turn against a Whizzard last night.
Ooh.
And it was there for the entire game because they just couldn't get in and steal any agendas. And it was really funny because it was like, oh, I can host my stuff on Personal Workshop. I'm like, yeah, but when that finishes, you're going to have to trash something. You can't get around it that easily. And every time I felt bad because they hadn't really seen housekeeping before, and I don't think many people in London play it. So every time I reminded them, it's like, yeah, you installed Jog, but now you're going to have to trash something from your grip. I felt like a little bad about it. It's like I've kind of ruined their day ever so slightly every turn. But it's such a good, like, I'm really into running currents at the moment. After Hacktivist meeting, it's really turned me on to playing currents in my decks.
I think housekeeping is one of the cards that I had, like, this one horrible regional where like everything went wrong, like lost all games except like 2 or so. Yeah. So it went really like just completely downhill. And funny enough, like with the same decks next tournament, I was like in the top 8. So it's like kind of like I don't know what happened. And then the funny thing is, like, in the last turn, I played against a player who was, like, new to the game and is like, hey, I watch your videos, was, like, this really cheerful guy. And I was just, just boiling inside, And then this guy is, like, playing Blue Sun and just drops, like, housekeeping first turn. And I never played against housekeeping. It's like, what? And, yeah.
Such a mean card.
And then I tried to like adapt to housekeeping, so my strategy turned out to be like, hey, if I don't have any cards on hand, then I don't have to trash anything. And then predictably, then I got meat damaged away.
Yeah. Oh god. It's a mean current, and I love it. But the other card that I've been having a lot of fun with this last couple of weeks is Oaktown Renovation, which is the new agenda from Chrome City for Wayland, the first public one. So you put this face up, the runner knows you've just installed an agenda, and it makes you lovely, lovely money without any of the bad publicity, because, hey, you're renovating Oaktown. You're not a bad guy. You're helping the community.
You're a terrible person.
And
I love it.
The only problem I'm finding with it is I don't ever really want to overscore it for the money, because I'm Blue Sun, and I can just pull back a curtain wall or play the restructure I have in my hand. So I only ever get it to 4 and then score it out, but it is nice to know that I can put it down, like install advance, and then I still have enough money. I made the money back plus more to res whatever I wanted to in front of it, which is a really nice feeling. So like a lot of the times I'll like, oh, I'm only on 12 credits, or I'm only on 14 credits now, but maybe if I can install advance the Oaktown, I'll have enough to res the curtain wall that was in front of it if they run on it. Oh, it's just... Yeah, people do not want to run on a server that has Oaktown in it, because you'll probably have Archer and Curtain Wall and other bad things protecting it. And
David.
And it can sit there. Oh yeah, David would ruin your day.
I'm so used to running David now. It doesn't even bother me. It's like, I'll throw David out just to deal with it, really.
Yeah, I think when I played against you, Steph, and you just like clone chipping the David back out mid-run, I'm just like sighing, and oh my god. Come on in.
It's a it's a stim hack clone chip David.
Yes, that was it. Oh.
And then I'm just like, hello.
Good move. So guys, I never played Oaktown Grip because funny enough, I still don't have the Chrome City pack. I haven't actually proxying the Net Ready Ice. Yeah, because it just took for ages to come out here in Germany for some reason.
Right.
But I have a question. So it says if there you get 3 credits if there are 5 or more advancement token on Oaktown Renovation, right?
Yes.
So does it mean that your 5th advancement token gets the 3 credits, or is it the 6th that gets the 3 credits?
I believe it's the 5th one. I think it's
Yeah, if there are 5 or more. So if you put the 5th on there are 5 on there.
yeah.
So
I think when you get into the realm of overscoring it, that's when the money starts coming back. You start getting the 3 credits.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like I say, when I've usually been in a situation where, because typically when I play Oaktown Renovation, it's an install advance, and then I've immediately got 4 credits back from playing it. And then the next turn is like, I could advance, but I'm usually sitting on so much money anyway. It's like, I'll just score it out at 4 and then play Restructure or something like that. So maybe when I'm like sitting on fewer credits, it's probably better to try and overscore it a bit more. But yeah, it's still a very good card, and just being able to just every credit you spend getting 2 credits back is such a nice feeling, and it's like, oh, I'm doing such good work for the community. Everyone loves me. Pay me more money and then I'll just bomb it with my Scorched Earth. It's fine.
It's also like it's such a great like Wayland card. It's like, we're not playing any games. You know exactly what is happening. This is happening now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's why I love Wayland. They're just so overtly evil. It's like, we're just going to take over everything. And you know what? And there's nothing you can do about it. And if you try, we're going to blow your house up.
I'd love, like, in a game, if you could, like, play Scorched Earth and then next turn play Oaktown Renovation. Like, yeah, well, I just blew you up a bit, but now we're going to rebuild. And then you finish the renovation, and then just play another Scorched Earth on them. So, oh, sorry.
We need more space for our Oaktown Renovation projects.
We're just blowing up more land next to it.
It's just one city block after another falls to the Oaktown renovation project.
Now with 16 advancement tokens on it. Still going.
Oh man, just the synergy between this and... I like it between this and Trick of Light, personally. I hadn't even considered it until recently, where you could just over-advance this and like, well, past a certain point, if you're not going to score it, it's just money-making, and then I'll just Trick of Light 2 of these off. I'm still above 5.
Yeah.
Can you play commercialization on it?
Yeah. I guess so.
That's even better.
I think so.
Oh, the silly synergy of this card.
But
no, I'm a really big fan of Oaktown Renovation.
Why am I not running this?
It's so good. I'm telling you. And just because it's such a new concept, the public agenda, runners are just a little bit afraid of it. They're like, oh, so you're showing me there's an agenda behind these 2 pieces of ice. Well, I guess you can have this one. I mean, I'll face check something else, but this one you can have. It's okay. Just the nervousness of actually seeing it's an agenda being advanced. I really hope they print enough to be able to just run like a public agenda deck. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, they will bring out some more. I saw some spoilers, so there will be more of those, and they will all be fantastic. Wayland.
Oh, brilliant!
Yes.
Because I know MBN's getting the Sensi ones, and obviously there's like Psy ones for Jinteki, so I really like the public stuff in Wayland.
So you cannot play commercialization on it because that's only applies to ice,
it's
sadly.
Ice, yeah. I've literally just looked at one. But still, you could bounce them off onto something and then play commercialization.
You could play it with Neo Tokyo City Grid. Then you would get 3 credits.
That's true.
And then you would get 4 credits when it's over advanced.
Well, there's so much to do. Maybe this is the card I need for my woodcutter deck.
Maybe.
So, just start bouncing agenda tokens off of it onto the ice. It still won't work, but it's a pipe dream of mine.
One of these days. Oh. And then runner side, I've been trying to get Morningstar to work because I believe it's Morningstar's time. I wanted to have it in Edward Kim just so I could call the deck Fist of the Morningstar. But
don't laugh at him. It only encourages him. It's a terrible.
Terrible puns. But no, I was unfortunately I had a rather unfortunate game where I face checked an archer with my Morningstar out, and then it went into my bin, and I was very sad. But playing online, I did come across a Replicating Perfection deck who had an Enigma Eli server that, with my Morningstar and Yogg, cost me 2 credits to get into every single time. I was like,
oh jeez,
I'll take that. So yeah, especially because a lot of people are playing like heavy taxing barriers to get, Lady and Kuroda. I mean, just think like 4 credits on an Eli or just 1 credit on a Morningstar. It's just, this is the 2 MU that really annoys me. It means that you really have to find your... there have been times in games where I've been sitting, waiting to play Morningstar, but I'm at like 3 MU of my 4, and it's like, I need to find my Grimoire, and It's just it's a bastard to get out, but once it's out, it does wonders for making runs super cheap against barriers.
Have you tried Monolith?
Or Boxy,
Maybe
or
I should-
both.
Or Boxy, or both, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Boxy's good.
I'd quite like to retrieval run it out and save myself 5 credits, but I know the minute I put it in the bin at the end of my turn, they'll just put a barrier over over their archives and stop me getting in.
Yeah.
So maybe I run it out of Quetzal. Who knows? How about you, Krystian? What funky decks and cards have you been running recently?
Oh, I've been actually super boring. So I've been playing, looking for job, like the Whizzard build that everybody's, because I was shocked that there was Whizzard suddenly winning tournaments. I was like, what? And of course, Nick from TeamworkCast, my co-host, is a huge Whizzard fan, so I had to kind of check it out. And I was kind of amazed how well it went. The only problem I had, and I actually played like 3 games against this one person. I played against a blue sun that was like armed to the teeth.
Yeah.
Like what primitive counter strikes and sea source scorch, and that just like that wizard wasn't able to do anything against those guys, especially because they had also cerebral overwriters.
Oh.
So it was like really not really possible to do anything. Like they install advanced, and what do you do next? And then also, of course, the government takeover. So the agenda density was super low, just 3 pointers and government takeover. So like running on R&D doesn't make any sense. They can immediately get like monetary advantage, and then you just can't can't do anything. Then you cannot build up your data suckers, and that was kind of a big problem. So I don't know what I'm like. There's a regional coming up in where is it? Eindhoven, and I don't know what to bring there. Recently I had like a lot of fun with kit, because like a regular vamp kit. Because I think like a lot of like taxing ice recently are actually code gates, and I think like the recent Whizzard build, the one reason why it's so popular is because it actually manages code gates very well.
Yeah.
And that is like kind of like a big deal with generally against corporations. So the funny thing is like the corporation deck I built was like Grail RP, and we had like a new player in our meta in our Thursday meetup, and we kind of like I gave him my deck and I played like good Wizard against my own deck, and I realized that this Wizard deck I had like completely destroyed RP. Like completely destroyed RP. This was nothing RP could do. Like, there's like 2 eyes that could vaguely stop me in that deck, and that was when I realized, okay, this is probably a pretty good runner for now. But yeah, like so the RP was trying to stop runners with what's the name for the Grail? Merlin.
Yes.
Which 4 strength code gate with 3 subroutines is pretty hefty. But if you have like a York strength 4, you just break it for 0 credits, and suddenly like all this taxing goes away.
Yeah. Like, well, I'm through.
So that was like a completely that's kind of like a new thing that completely flipped the tables. I'm fascinated by this new Wizard build, because net ready ice is good, but we could have built this deck with personal touch, right?
Yeah, I think the main difference is obviously NetReady is a bit more flexible, and you can kind of choose anything. Whereas with your personal touch, you need the breaker out, and you need to get it onto the right breaker. Although I did achieve the dream last night, where I installed NetReady Eyes, and the only other 2 cards in my grip were 2 I've had worse, so I drew 6 cards. It was the sweetest feeling. The main reason I did it as well, because I only had my Morningstar out at the time, is like I don't really need a strength 6 barrier breaker, but I do need to draw some cards now, so I'll just play my NetReady Eyes.
Yeah.
But you're right. Yeah, the more I've looked at the looking for job deck and kind of the deck that I kind of built that kind of spun off that with Edward Kim, it's just like, yeah, I feel like you didn't really need NetReady Eyes because there's personal touch, and even just using standard data sucker with the fixed strength breakers, it still works incredibly well, and for the most part, you can get away without even installing NetReady Eyes.
So I really wonder, like, how corporations will react to it. Like, I'm assuming we're gonna see a bit more like barriers. Because like it's funny that you mentioned Morningstar, because the only breaker that's not fixed in that deck is Corroda.
It's Corroda, yeah.
And I was actually
Yeah.
like thinking like maybe Morningstar could be good in here.
Yes, finally, it's more like this is the thing I'm hoping to bring to Netrunner. And like, there's been prepaid. This is it. I'm the champion of Morningstar. It's going to happen.
I think the use of Netrunner Eyes is just simply because it's just come out. I mean, because honestly, there are so many cards now, I forget what's in like older stuff. So stuff like Personal Touch, I'd completely forgotten it existed.
Yeah.
And I think in a response mainly to this odd prevalence of RP, like I say, the Whizzard just kind of destroys it because they can't keep them out. And then of course you're in there, you've got the credits to trash, you just get rid of whatever.
Yeah.
And especially he likes to trash all this stuff. Like he doesn't mind actually that you bring back the Sandu, because he can use his ability. You kind of want to use your ability every turn. So you're like, yes, another Sandu to trash, sweet.
So you know it's bad when they're immediately going straight for the Sandu. It's like, oh, they're not even considering, and it's gone.
And then when you start trashing the mental health clinic, that's even worse, because usually that's the one thing that you just keep around that Run never wants to trash. But suddenly they're like going for your mental health clinics. Like, what is going on here? I cannot make any money.
I have to admit, I've always trashed a mental health clinic. I used to play a bizarre fast advance Jinteki with Harmony Medtech, and when I came up against it, because I knew what 3 mental health clinics could do, I just got rid of them all. And the cool thing is, like, no one really wants to Jackson back a mental health clinic.
No, nobody will.
Sorry. So it's just like I immediately now, like, you always trash the mental health clinic, you always trash Daily Business Show.
Yeah.
There are just some things I immediately see and go, nope, I'm not having any of that.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't have it sitting on the board at all, can you?
No.
It's a reflex reaction of, right, I'm going to trash that now.
So the one thing I'm wondering, like, how corporations will react to this new kind of meta changes. Like, I'm thinking, I guess we're gonna focus more on multi subroutine ice. So I recently what is the ice from Jinteki that has multiple subroutines? Barrier ice.
Ashigaru.
Ashigaru,
the
yeah.
HQ, yeah.
I recently splashed that in HB, and that was really fun because that was like very expensive to break, and even if barriers got kind of like out of fashion because of Lady, but when you have like multiple subroutines and you have to waste like 3 Lady tokens to just get through this one ice.
Oh, it's awful.
That becomes interesting again. So like multi subroutine barriers perhaps.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a return of sort of HB and Wayland barriers, and I mean they can just be such a pain.
Yeah, because I've the one thing that I've always I've hated playing recently with my fixed breakers is any multi sub sentries. Because obviously, Morningstar breaks all barriers for 1, all barrier subroutines for 1. Yogg does it for free for code gates. Mimic is 1 for every sub. So if the minute I see a Sarugi, it's like, need to find a parasite to get rid of that because it's going to be just cheaper than paying 4 every time to get through that. But no, I think you're right. Just lots of multi-sub stuff.
Yeah, but then of course you're so sad when they actually find the parasite and they trash your Tsurugi that you rest for 6 credits and then it's gone forever.
Yeah, or if they're mean like they were to me, then you then run into a crick that was behind it and they pull it back.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Did you
That's a
put
good
that
answer. That's nice.
I wonder if we'll start seeing like Wotan decks.
Maybe.
just because that'd be the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah, Wotan is we have a special relationship to Wotan on our show. Like there's Wotan is the Lord of Ice,
Yeah. It's terrifying. I face checked a Wotan. It was awful.
The only problem is like with Wotan is like so easily breakable with David.
Yeah.
Because the thing is like there's like 4 subroutines, and one subroutine is the runner trashes a program. So it's like you spend 3 tokens for the other 3 subroutines, and then you trash the empty David.
That's a really good play, actually.
Yeah. So once I realized that this is possible, like Wotan became slightly less interesting. Another thing I think that we're going to see a lot with corporations is a card that when it came out, I think a lot of people got excited, but never actually they weren't played by too many corporations. But I think now we're gonna see it more often, which is the virus suite, cybernetic virus suite.
Oh yeah,
because it's the most funniest thing where you have like a huge sentry or something, like some golds, like next gold.
Yeah.
And it's already rest, and they run on it, and they're like, oh, I have my data suckers, it's going to be fine. And then while they encounter it, you rest the virus suite and purge virus tokens mid-run.
Oh, that just makes me feel ill.
Nope, suddenly you have to trash like 3 stuff and get 3 net damage.
Oh, that's just mean.
It's very mean. Or when
I do quite like that idea, yeah.
Or when they randomly access it in archives or as an upgrade on R&D or something. That's so good.
You've shocked me to my core with that. I've never actually come up against the cybernetics, but now I'm thinking about it, it's like, yeah, this massive prevalence of Anarchs and I'm like, oh no, that's going to ruin my day. People are going to listen to this now and just start countering me hard.
Yeah, it's once this idea is incepted into your mind, you get very reluctant suddenly as a runner. Like, there's an unrest upgrade there. Is that really Krystian Grid, or is that a cybernetic virus suite?
Yeah,
I got a runner with it once, and it was very fun.
I was just going to say, I wonder if we might see kind of more kind of Cambridge-style Jinteki decks that are very ice-light but run lots of ambushes to counter the fact that people can just get in with the fixed breakers, just like completely go away from having ice at all and just go, okay, install advance, do you want to check that? Because I had a lot of fun with Cybernetics Division, like first turn, Mushin out a card, and then just put another advancement counter on it. Be like, do you really want to check that on your first turn? You're going to be dead if you do. Just go on. Do you want to check it? You sure? No? Okay. Then next turn, double advance and score out mandatory upgrades. And it's so much fun.
I think brain damage is a big thing that's coming up because I think a lot of people, like me, for example, are suddenly shocked to realize that I Had Worse doesn't work with brain damage.
Oh yeah, of course.
And that's kind of like a huge bummer to me.
I don't know. I mean, I can honestly say I've never had to trigger and I've had worse from taking damage. I've always just used it as draw. Is that a thing? Am I missing out?
Yeah, you haven't get the I Had Worse Scorch Seesaw Scorch rescue yet. That's the best feeling in Netrunner. It's like Seesaw Scorch Earth. All right, discarding 2 I Had Worse, drawing 6 cards. What do you want to go do with your last click?
Oh man, I wonder if we'll start seeing Edge of World.
Oh.
I did actually see that last night. It was just behind one piece of ice, but it still annoyed me.
Well, I could just imagine like a big 3 or 4 ice HB Glacier, and you've scored a couple of things out, you put something down, and they're just like, alright, I'm going straight for it, and then it's just an Edge of World. Like, I'm really sorry. But that's 4 brain damage, and yeah, bye.
Just put it on a Valley Grid as well.
Oh, God. The only problem with Edge of World is that it's an upgrade, so not an upgrade. So
yeah, it's a.
So how do you get them to run the server?
I would just, like I say, you score a couple of things out. I mean, if it's that big and you can keep them out, score 1 or 2 out and just make it seem like that's your scoring server.
Yeah.
And then install something in it at the end of the go. So no install advance, just put it down and just make them think, hey, it could be this or it could be a Sansan, especially if you're running it out of HB.
Yeah.
Or you install a shell corporation and abuse the hell out of it.
Oh, yes.
Oh man, I've got so many ideas.
So that's the funny thing. Like we had to use share corporation in a draft because in the draft, as a corporation, you just get no economy whatsoever. So share corporation becomes like your only, lifeline, and that's actually a pretty good card that nobody's playing.
I've got to say, I'm actually playing it at the moment in my Cybernetics deck because you can Mushin out what they think is a Cerebral Overwriter. Then on your last click, you just put out the Shell Corporation on it and be like, okay. Did I just put that on an agenda, or is that a Cerebral Overwriter that you're going to check? Because and now you have this constant, like, this bank that it's pretty safe because you probably put it on a Cerebral Overwriter.
Yeah, of course.
And it's good because if the trap fails, if they don't check it in the first place, you could even just, like, the next turn just put Cerebral Overwriter, shell corp on it, and just be like, well, you didn't run it then, now you're never going to run it and get rid of this, get rid of my bank.
Yeah. Now I'm going to abuse this trap that didn't trigger. You can check it, of course, if you want to.
Yeah.
But I think like one card is coming up. I don't know. Are we talking about spoilers? I think that was spoiled on officially FFG website.
Sure, why not?
There is
spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. There is like this Wayland card that is basically the like a Ronin, but with meat damage for Wayland.
Is this the assassin card?
Yeah, the assassin guy. Yeah. So it's like you advance it. I don't know how many times, and then you res it, and then you can trash it to trash a resource or do like 2 meat damage.
Yeah. Contract killer. That's what it's called.
And I think that might turn what's the name again? Argus Security into maybe some kind of like a personal evolution kind of build.
I love the theme of that as well. Like your security company is hiring contract killers to do the dirty work.
I know, right? It's great.
Oh man. Well, I think I'm set for decks for like the next 6 months now. Just wait until the big expansion comes out, and then I'll just be back to NBN.
The thing is, I played Argus Security for a while, and I always thought it missed like some kind of situations where you install advance, and if the run doesn't run it, then that's bad for them. Like I think there's just one thing, and that is posted bounty.
Yeah.
But I think there should be more. There should be more of those.
Yeah, I just like that Wayland's getting all these crazy assets, like. In Crime City they have, was it Corporate Town, where you sacrifice an agenda to then trash a resource on the runner side. And that's crazy. And you can trash a resource every turn until they trash it for 5. Oh, it's a crazy card. And then they've got the Sharks one. What's it called? Capital Investors for their magnum opus, basically.
Yeah,
just interesting Wayland assets.
Wayland gets a lot of love recently.
Yeah.
It needed it, really, though. I mean, it had so many little options compared to, Seesaw Scorch. For such a long time. Well, that's at least what it felt like.
Yeah, there was dedicated response team if you're feeling adventurous.
So, I think that's the end of what we've been playing. Do we have a topic we wanted to talk about tonight?
We can talk about Crown City. There's just one card I wanted to talk about. Guys, I don't know.
Sure.
Did you guys have experience with Turntable?
I have been desperately trying to build a deck with it in. I really, really want to make it work, because all I can see is the best case situation where you swap an Astro for one that had a counter on it, and you go, ha, screw you, NBN Fast Advance. Or you pull out the hostile takeover and you swap it for the government takeover, and you go for 6 points.
I lost to a turntable move.
Really?
Yeah. Son of a bitch. he took my government takeover.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really sad. I was just like, I can't remember what he scored as well. It was something ridiculous. Oh, man, what was it? It's going to kill me. What's the one with the guy with the feature on the table, tower of cards?
Money card. High risk investment.
That's it.
Oh.
So he nicked that, and I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, hey, I'm just going to swap it with you. I was like, no!
No! My baby!
I mean, it was fine, but it just stuck it there. But of course, it doesn't get any agenda counters. It doesn't. You can't do anything with it. It's just a 5/3. I'm like, well, great, but now he's got 6, and I'm screwed. Like, oh, it was awful.
That's perfect.
I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, afterwards, I just had to go and sit down somehow.
I can imagine.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, it was awful thing. I mean, how about you? Have you had much experience with it?
Me? Oh no, I haven't. I just had like a lot of discussions on the internet whether that's good or not, and I'm just curious, how it actually plays. Because on paper, like I feel it seems really great because it's an ability that we didn't have so far in Netrunner, and I think like especially the most successful decks, which is kind of like fast advance with NBN. Or like the Nisei stuff with personal evolution or replicating perfection. That both decks relied on those counters on agendas, and those being like very safe and the space where the runner has no access to. Like you can have like your Astrostrip counter, and the runner can do nothing about it. It's just hovering there, telling you that you will eventually succumb to fast advance. And so, like, having a tool that accesses this area and makes this a vulnerable area is, to me, very exciting.
It's phenomenal.
But then, of course, then the naysayers come in and say, like, it doesn't trigger often enough, and there will be so many games where it's just a dead card. So I don't know, man.
But, I mean, again, as I will continue to say, it could be a dead card, sure, but it's still a console that gives you a +1 MU, which is useful. And for the few times when you really screw Fast Advance, it's completely worth it. I mean, for the amount of Fast Advance that's currently in the metas, and, you know, just seeing NEH and just, like you say, having that Astro script just sat there, it's like, well, I'm going to take this away from you now. And that's essentially you shut down for a while because you can't get that train rolling. It's a great card. And it's cheap as well.
Just 2 credits.
Which I love. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, it is, don't get me wrong, it is essentially just a pair of headphones. As far as cool consoles go, it's no monolith. But
well, is there anything really that can compete with a monolith? Come on.
No.
Come on, be honest.
I know, I'm sorry, I'm just sore about it.
You could trade in a monolith into the turntable, you know.
Oh my god, that would be... That's my next trick.
Because that's the thing I find interesting. Like, usually, and that's my experience with something like Astrolabe or what's the other one? Desperado. Like, these are consoles. I want to have them in my starting hand, so I'm running like 3 of those. And if I don't get them like in my starting hand or like in the first couple of cards I draw, I'm like really upset because it doesn't do anything anymore. You know, when once the corporation is established, like all the remote servers, I'm not getting the card draw from Astrolabe. And once I have, you know, doing a lot of runs without the Desperado, I'm also not very happy about this. But Turntable is one of the only or very few consoles where it's very much okay. Actually, I want to have it out later in the game. I don't want to have it like on table turn 1 because then the corporation already sees that their agendas are vulnerable. I actually want to bring it out once the corporation has scored agenda I want to have. And then suddenly, oh, you thought this was safe. Well, it's not. I'm running on your R&D with a turntable out. Let's see what happens.
I just know that I'm going to be that kind of dick who grabs the agenda that I've just stolen from them and the agenda that was in their score area and make a wickle wicket a noise and move them around.
Oh.
You have to.
No.
Absolutely.
But no, I love
terrible
Turntable
person.
and I desperately want to put it in a deck. And I every time, because I think, well, I was trying to run it with in the Morningstar Fixed Breaker deck, but I don't think that's where it belongs. Maybe, I don't know. I'll give it some more work, but I do like it. And again, two costs for 1 MU is not all that bad. And when you pull it off, it's going to be amazing. And if you don't pull it off, it's still going to be fairly good console anyway. I think everyone's comparing it to Vigil and going, oh, but Vigil's so much better because you get that card draw. It's like, well, yeah, but the Corp could just stay at 4 cards in hand and just Vigil block you. And then that's a dead console.
I feel as a corporation, I don't have like too many problems playing around the Vigil. Maybe if there's like internet protesters, then maybe I have. That's a big deal. But otherwise, I'm like, I don't care too much as a corporation. It's usually I can play at least 1 card from my hand.
Sure. And actually, just going back to what you're saying about people being like naysayers and saying like it's a dead draw in some decks and stuff like that for certain cards. I out of Blue Sun last night, I was playing against a Haley who was running kind of Beach Party Game Day.
Oh yes.
And because they had so many cards in hand, for me, Sea Source and Scorched Earth were dead draws for that game. So any card in any kind of matchup could be a dead draw. So it doesn't really matter as much.
That's true. Yeah, there's like Netrunner is like essentially a very situational game by its design. I feel much more so than I feel like Magic is. So like I feel often this argument that this is a situational card is like often like mute. Like it doesn't really ring true, I feel, for how the game actually plays out. Of course, there is always the meta, and you can always expect people to play certain cards, and that becomes kind of like another consideration. So I don't know.
Cool. Is there any other cards you kind of like the look of out of Chrome City then, you guys?
Oh my god, I love all the cybernetic stuff. I'm actually in love with cybernetics. I don't know what it is. They are especially with Chrome Parlor. I mean, I love the fact that first of all, Anarchs get Chrome Parlor, which is great. Like they know just the guy to go to, so they can fuck their bodies up even more without hurting their brains. Which, and then Netrunner Eyes, which does cool things. I really, I like Brain Cage and I like Skulljack. Skulljack for the trashy things. Brain Cage just because it's funny. So what do you do? Well, I went to this cybernetics place and I just put a cage around my brain. So you got a new skull. Yeah, I did. There are no side effects whatsoever. In fact, I can actually hold more stuff now, which is really cool. And then I think titanium ribs is probably the weakest one out of all.
I like titanium ribs because I think it's good for an Anarch, where you have same old thing. I had worse.
Yes.
And then you can target your I had worse to actually trigger them. The only thing that kind of that puts a damper on this combo is that I had worse doesn't work with brain damage, because then you could stim hack and then use trigger I had worse. So you get 9 credits and draw 3 cards. That's great, or isn't it?
Very good.
Sadly, they I think they anticipated it and they put a damper on this one.
I do like as well that this is the pack that all the new hardware is cybernetics, and then HB gets a trap that destroys those cybernetics if you run into it.
Yeah.
It's you've upgraded your ribs and your skull. Never mind, the dog's gonna eat you.
How does it work when they trash the brain cage? Thematically, I mean.
Thematically,
I don't know. I mean, I suppose that your skull just pops out your head. It's like the adamantium coating around your skull just leaks out of your nose onto the console.
It's like a reverse Wolverine.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's the worst kind of Wolverine. Your brain cage is fluid. I also, because I like the little engine. I don't know why.
Oh my god, yes.
I think it's just, again, it's a funny card with I keep calling it Thomas.
It's so funny. I've been calling it Thomas the Fuck You engine.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's like, Thomas, go. Every time they get to the last, because I've played it and people just say, I'm just going to break subroutines on that. I'm like, okay, cool. And then they move on. I'm like, you lost 5 credits because you didn't take them. You broke every subroutine.
The thing that blew my mind, somebody suggested this, is that it's not Thomas the engine, it's the little engine that could.
Yeah. No, it is a little engine that could, which is the train trying to get stuff of the kill.
Yeah, it's going over the hill, and then once it gets over the hill, everything gets and so that's basically how you break it. You have to get over the hill, but if you get over the hill, then you get all the money back.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a strength 7 code gate. It is, and it's cheap as well, surprisingly cheap.
Yeah.
This is
for what it does.
You know the free-to-play deck that I mentioned a little while ago that I was building with kind of RCP and red herrings and kind of all the stuff that either costs the runner money or makes the corporation money. I've found space to put this in, and I'll be testing it out next week because I don't know. I like the idea that I've kind of got some ice in there that'll give the runner some money back, but it's still a strength 7 code gate with 2 other subroutines they have to break first, and it could be a really good kind of put this down and then score behind it really early as well type of ice.
Yeah, I really like it because it's the 3rd ice for NBN now that works so well with Chum.
Oh yeah,
that's true actually.
So it's Gutenberg, this one, Little Engine, and the 3rd one was Bandwidth. All 3 of those are really great with Chum. So I feel like they kind of teasing let's put Chum and NBN together and see what happens.
Gotta say, I do quite like that. Yes. Oh man, I really like Quicksand as well, but I do get the feeling that it's probably not going to get to more than +1 at times because runners might just stop running on it.
That's great.
Find a way around it.
Then it's doing its job.
It's just doing its job. Yeah, but I mean, the dream is to have it 10 strength barrier sitting there that you res for 3.
Yeah.
But I do quite like. I love the theme as well. It's just every time you encounter it, you slip a little bit deeper. Yeah. It's a little bit harder to get past, a bit harder to get out.
So what you're technically talking about, something that we discovered in Draft, because in Draft is being around for a while now, is that the effect that you describe is real. Once you res it on a server, runners just don't run there anymore. Just give up completely. I mean, the only thing now is I think is that it will die to parasites. and that probably will be often parasited away, and so then you kind of wish you had like a Bastion there or something. But otherwise, it's just like any other deck without parasites will be very much discouraged to run on there.
Yeah, just like, oh, that's okay. I can get through for 1 credit on my Corroder. Oh, 2 credits. 3, 4, 5. Shit.
This is getting expensive.
Especially if like you put it over. I imagine this is HQ or R&D defense, and then if they want to make multiple runs on those servers each turn, then it's just going to keep racking up the strength.
And of course, if you Quetzal, then that doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
That's true.
we're going to see a resurgence of Quetzal to get past Quicksand.
It'll be Quetzal Morningstar. That's what it'll be. The Metro will move on.
But you know, the best solution against Quetzal is just always to play just 2 barriers, just two Quicksands
Yes.
in a row. That does it.
Yes, actually, yeah. I'll definitely keep her out. Cool. I really like Lockdown. I love all these weird code gates we're getting now. Like, I know code gates have always been weird.
Lockdown's the massivest fuck you card from Jinteki. It's like, come on then. You're like, no more cards. Sorry. It's like, okay, I am not running at all for the remainder of my turn.
Maybe we should always say what the card does for people, in case people don't have
Oh
memorized.
yeah, sorry, we're terrible at this.
Oh yeah.
I'm always the bad and the worst at it. So Lockdown is the card, the ice that prevents you. This has separate 5 strength code gate. It's pretty sweet for 0 cost.
It's great.
The runner cannot draw cards for the remainder of this turn.
So come in, take some net damage, and now you can't draw up.
I think this because Mark, you said that Personal Evolution might re-emerge. I think this
Yeah.
could be a great card for Personal Evolution.
Absolutely, yeah. Just the amount of net damage that people are so afraid of. Like you hit a snare, and then you can't get those cards back. And then if they're packing some neural MPs or other ways to kind of damage you out of the game, then it's really going to be painful. And a 5 strength code gate is not the easiest to break. I mean, code gates especially. I mean, a lot of the good. I mean, Gordian Blade is probably one of the most prevalent ones. Zoo gets played quite a lot, but this is like 5 for a Zoo to break, and yeah, it's just a lot of the time you just think, I'll run through that. That's fine, and then it really isn't fine.
Yeah.
It's like I love the artwork as well. It's just like at first glance it kind of, because you got all the arms kind of holding each other by the wrist, and it kind of looks like one of those motivational teamwork posters. But then when you look closer, it's just all the hands pulling the other hands away.
Yeah.
And it's just like so thematic, because obviously that's it. You can't do anything with your hand really to increase it.
I thought it has something to do with Bioroids, because Jinteki does the clones and HB does the Bioroids, and there's like this competition, Bioroids versus clones. So I thought the hands were like Bioroid hands being kind of mangled somehow.
Oh, maybe. I like that if you put this near a quicksand, it looks like the hands are trying to reach out to each other.
The most bizarre server.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh man, they should bring out like some eyes that has to be put together, and they complete like an image, like a huge monster. It kind of like, you know, begins on the one card and then continues on the second card.
They did the poem with the space.
Oh,
on
that's
it,
true. Yeah.
No, I like that.
which I'm still in shock about. Took me such a long time to realize. Oh yeah, man, people who make this game are clever.
They're kind of thinking about this game.
So, just in, I think we've covered pretty much everything. Have we not?
More or less. I like Immolation Script. That's the last one that I'd like to just mention out of Chrome City. Obviously, you have to have got the ice in there originally, and there has to be other ice rezzed on the board. But in something like Noise, where you're constantly putting stuff in the bin anyway, you just go, all right, so you've rezzed that toll booth over there. I know I trashed one earlier. I'll just get rid of that one. It's fine. And you just run in and you access everything, and then just trash the ice. I like Immolation Script. I like the sabotage runs. I think that's why I'm an Anarch. I just love just messing with the corpse plans, just ruining all the beautiful things they had in mind for their game, and going, actually no, I've just trashed. Like, that's why I love Data Leak Reversal, because I just look at the start of my turn and go, yeah, trash the top 5 cards because I'm using Joshua B. And okay, right. And then they're like, oh my god, all my things have gone.
Oh, this is a card I wanted to have. This is a card. Oh my god, I spent influence on this one. Oh. And now it's gone.
Oh god, can you imagine like blue sunning this, and then you just hit like a Hadrian's Wall or an Archer that's just singly protecting our ideas? Like, oh well, guess you're gonna have to pay for that again.
Oh man.
Oh, their face.
Yeah.
Ah, their sadness is so delicious to me.
That's why they call it face check.
Hey! Oh, you're fitting right in here with Mark. Giving me major depression.
Can we get you back every week, Krystian?
So, I wanted to just ask, Krystian, what's the jankiest thing you've ever run?
The jankiest thing I ever run. Oh man, I have to know. Whoa, that takes me back. Well, recently, that's really funny. Like recently, Axel, who is the German national champion, he actually ran Professor decks, and he actually was very successful with it. So I guess it wasn't very janky.
Oh man, the people that can get Professor to work, I really have to hand it to them.
Yeah, I actually played his deck, and I wasn't able to make it work. So sadly, I'm still like I'm Professor curious because for personal reasons, I wanna make him work. But
So I love the term Professor Curious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember very fondly. Like I brought like a Professor deck who had Monolith in there, and I played against a very aggressive player, and I defeated him by installing Monolith, and that kind of made my day.
I think that's a brilliant place.
Yeah.
I want to get to that place with my Monolith box.
I know you kind of already have all the puzzle pieces in place, I would say.
Yeah. I just need to find someone who'll fall for it.
Just play against me.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Cool.
Well, I think we're about at an hour, aren't we?
I think so. Yeah, I think unless Krystian, you had anything else you wanted to talk about on the show this week?
No.
Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, I definitely want to plug. Yes. All right. So we have a YouTube channel called youtube.com/TeamworkCast, I think, and we have some wonderful videos there. So subscribe. And we have also one other thing going on, which is a Patreon campaign at patreon.com/hacktheplanet. And the idea is that
best URL ever.
The best, yeah. I was so happy I found it. So the idea is that you can chime in, and it's like going to start at $1, and that's fine. And then if you do, then you will fund our excellent endeavor here. And then you will also have access to like some additional footage. Like we will upload the raw footage for every tournament there, and also you have like early access to all of the things that because we have all the tournaments, and we record them and we edit them, and they're all like in our vault, and we release them one by one. We don't want to release like all of the videos in one go. But if you contribute to the Patreon campaign, and you get all of the get an overload of videos like ever injected into your vein directly, and that's very fun. I think because a lot of people are doing this. So yeah, if you want to do this, patreon.com/hacktheplanet. And
they are, I love your videos. There are kind of a select group of Netrunner YouTubers that I watch, and I've got to say, every time I see on the subreddit that you've posted a new video, it's like, right, I have to make time to watch this at some point.
There goes my next half hour.
Yeah, I've gotten into the habit now of kind of just watching them in the morning while I'm getting ready for work. Just kind of have it on in the background and kind of listening to you and Nick or whoever else is commentating with you, and just being like I have to. The problem is when I do that, I have to rewind if I miss a really good play or something like that. Or you guys go like, "Oh my god,
what's happened?
What did I miss?"
Oh no, it was because you guys. I don't know when this podcast will come out, but we're gonna have you guys on the show on the current tournament, right?
I had a really good time recording.
It was very fun. Yeah, it took some time for those to get out because it was some time that we recorded them ago, but it was a great.
Yeah.
The games I mean. I don't want to give too many spoilers away.
The last game, Stefan. Oh yeah.
I think I was about 4 beers down at that point. I was like, what's going on?
What am I drinking?
Yeah, genuinely, it was just like the first game was just ridiculous. Which is, I don't know, they're great, and if you'll permit me to fanboy as well, I absolutely adore your commentaries.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I genuinely, it's. I used to listen to a lot of the netrunner.co.uk commentaries, but as my wife once described them, they sound like a cricket. And listening to you, it's everything I wanted in a commentary. Of like, oh my god, did you see that play? And So what? It's just the commentaries of just like, what is he doing, and some of the things you come out with it's phenomenal. Please carry on.
Yes.
I mean, I'm pledging directly after this podcast. I have to.
Thank you so much,
very
guys.
good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I'll link the ones that we obviously I'll link your channel and the Patreon and everything like that. But I'll also put links to the episodes that Steph and I have helped you commentate with as well. I've just thought of two very good kind of wrapping up questions for you, actually, Krystian.
Oh yeah.
My first one is I love the names that you give your episodes.
Oh yeah.
Of the YouTube. What is the favorite one? Do you have like a favorite episode name that you just like? When you put that down, you're like, yes, that is the one. That is the best name that is that we have.
We have so many names, but from the top of my head, recently had domestic bratwurst. That was pretty dope.
One of my favorite ones.
I chuckled a lot about this one. I would probably have to go through the names. We had some really good ones in there. Yeah, sometimes you don't have anything good, but sometimes we just manage to squeeze out something ridiculous like domestic bratwurst, and then I'm really glad about this.
Yeah, they are just really good. It at times makes me wish that, because we decided to go down the route of we'll do each episode will be like a card name in Netrunner.
Yeah.
Because the old podcast we used to do, we lifted like a funny thing we said, and that was the title. And we know that like Terminal 7 do that for their podcast, and like, oh, maybe we'll try something different. And I thought it'd be quite funny for our pilot episode to be ** pilot program. I know.
Incredibly sad.
Yeah.
If you say
Just can't get around this. Everybody does that at some point.
Yeah. But no, yeah, I do love the names. But my other question I'm just quite interested in is, do you watch any other kind of YouTube Netrunner games, and if so, do you have any other kind of favorites, kind of publishers?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I usually watch everything, most of the stuff that gets posted on Reddit. I especially fond of Peach Hack, I think. Peach Hack are doing, I think, a really good job. They kind of like started recently, Ben from Peach Hack. We also had him on a show. I don't know if the videos have been published yet. I think they have been already published. So yeah, that's something I really like to watch. Of course, Team Covenant, because that's whatever. When I started playing Netrunner, these were hanging around, and that was kind of like a template for so many people. So yeah, these were a great deal of fun. Yeah, and then Netrunners.co.uk is also really fun. Like very professional commentary gives you some good insight into what's going on in professional meta. So I really enjoy those as well. And I really like that there's so many people doing those videos, and that everybody has like their own style, so to speak, like or own approach to how they handle things. So whenever you come into Netrunner, you can pick the channels that you really like, the way they treat the game, the way they comment the game. So it's not just everybody does the same thing. So everybody does something else.
Well, thank you very much for being on with us.
Yes.
This has been a phenomenally bizarre podcast of cheesecake and genuinely fun Netrunner conversations and everything. It's been pretty fantastic.
Thank you for having me. It was a great pleasure, guys.
And Mark, do you want to do the things you do at the end of the show?
I'll do the end of the show things. Okay, so deep breath. I'll try and do this all off the top of my head. Okay, so
when you take a deep breath, you don't have to say deep breath.
Okay, so there is the website, which is canlaugh.com/nerdrunners. You can also find the episode. We usually post it on the Reddit as well. You can find it on there. You can comment on there as well. If you want to send us a more email version of a comment, that would be nice. It's nerdrunnerspodcast@gmail.com. You can catch me on Twitter @MarcusFriend. Steph is on Twitter @HouseOfMoose. And Krystian is on Twitter @Christman?
Yes.
Yes, I remembered it right.
Sweet.
Awesome. What else is there that I have to say? Yes, you can find our stuff on Netrunner DB. We'll try and post most of the decks that we talk about. They're often tagged with Nerdrunners. Again, I'm Marcus Friend on Netrunner DB. Steph is Rin, which is RYNN. And Krystian, I think you're still Christman as well.
Yes, everywhere, Christman.
Christman everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You've got good online consistency with your names.
Mine looks pathetic for comparison. Got like 7 names. I'm just lurking on the Reddit forums going,
that's great. You're so much difficult to tag.
Which is a good thing for a runner.
I've been playing for too long. I just fear the tags. Oh, right. Well, thank you very much for listening. Yes. And
bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Yes, bye.
Yes.
Get recording.
just trying to sort out something here. There you go. That's sorted. Sorry, computer. Nah. I really need to upgrade. It's been a while. This monolith's just chugging along. Anyway,
So I like the idea that you have a monolith in your room and that's your computer.
it's not the same. If I had a computer that big, I would not be suffering the way I am currently.
You should trade it in for a boxy.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much. I really hope you're recording that as well. That's going at the back.
Hack the planet.